I am so glad you are here. It is Energy Sunday in my world, so let's get into it. One of the first energy exercises I ever had was being asked in a class to put my hands together and rub them for a while, like a good 20, 30 seconds, and then just ever so slightly pull them apart and see if I can sense like where the energy line is. It's an interesting exercise to do because not everybody's energy line is at the same space. In fact, if you do this exercise like on an infrequent but regular basis, it will vary for you personally. At least that's what my experience has been. So I've always wondered what's doing that. And of course, the idea in the class was it's magic. I'm going to point out at this point that turning on a light switch and getting light, that's magic if you think about it. It's you're doing it what seems like an unrelated thing to the lighting and you get lighting. It doesn't mean there's not a process behind it, but it might mean that you don't know in depth what that process is. And there's nothing wrong with that. What you've noticed is an effect from an action. I wouldn't even necessarily call it the cause, but it's an effect from your action. So you do this and you go, ooh, where's the sensation line, right? So what's happening? Well, I would still call it magic, but at the same time, I understand I have focused on my sensation that I receive from the nerves that are in the palms and fingers of my hand, on the inside of my hand. So I'm more cognizant of what I'm feeling. I also have an expectation. There's a psychological expectation that I'm going to feel something. And that also helps me to feel something. I've also excited all of these nerves a lot with this motion. And so sometimes there's a little reverb or echo effect where the nerves are still trying to feel something. Right? And so where's that line of energy? There's also heat. This is friction. I haven't just excited those nerves, I've created heat just through mechanical friction. And so part of what I'm sensing is the heat radiating off of my hands and bouncing and hitting the other hand. My hands started out today pretty cold, so it's pretty tight. This is pretty close in my experience. You've also, by paying more attention to this part of your body, focused your attention on things that we don't even think about. So you have more than likely affected a part of your body called, it has many names, but sometimes called fascia. That's going to be the easiest word to look up. Fascia is sort of a divider between things, holds things together, keeps things apart. It's a fun little part of the body. And if you've ever cooked a chicken breast, you've seen fascia because it's not the chicken skin, but that weird tissue that is sort of see-through, and you'll encounter it if you're pulling that breast apart before you cook it. And it kind of separates two of those muscles, provides them with a little slip and slide, basically, so that they're comfortable next to each other. That tenderloin versus the rest of the chicken breast. And you might even be sensing some of what's going on with the fascia, especially if when you do this, you stretch or curl or change how that fascia is placed in the body. I'm stretching parts that weren't being stretched before, and I'm relaxing parts that weren't relaxed before. And if you're really paying attention to the nerve sensation in that part of the body, that might even be a part of what your brain is cueing into. So there's lots of reasons that you might be really able to sense a line, a genuine line of, well, I have sensation when my hands are this close or closer. It feels funny, it feels tingly right now, but I don't if they're this far apart. Just because it's magic doesn't mean there's not an explanation for it. It may just mean we don't completely understand it yet, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as you do your energy work, keep in mind that there are likely pieces of it that are real. that there are biological processes, neurological processes that are actually happening that you've actually altered because of the magic thing you did. And there's loads of examples of that out there. 3 deep, long, comfortable breaths literally changes enough of your anatomy that your hypothalamus fires differently. All kinds of little things. And there's plenty of studies and science to back that up. You can Google it, I promise. There's all kinds of little things that we do that we didn't have explanations for thousands of years, but we knew from empirical observation made a difference. And that is part of magic and energy work. Well, on behalf of myself and the rest of the staff here at Magus Books and Herbs in Minneapolis and online at magusbooks.com, thank you so much for tuning in. Love seeing you here. Love the comments and all the little magical things you can do here. And of course, what we really appreciate is magical you. And have a wonderful week and blessed be.